Back. I hurt myself shoveling snow. I got under some ice, and man, I was in terrible pain. And he says, well, don't worry, Gramps. He says, when I get my practice work on it. That started out, he told me, he said, it'll probably be about 6 months of doing things every week or every other week. But anyway, it got well, and I used to walk like this most of the time. Now I'm as healthy as could be.
Hey, good.
What really happened, though, is I had a real change of life. I had problems. I was overweight. I weighed, when I was 50-some years old, I weighed 212 pounds. My cholesterol was way up. My triglycerides were out of this world. And high blood pressure and everything. So I went. My doctor had an appointment with him. And he says, Steve, he said, we're going to put you on some medication. So he told me about 4 or 5 pills that he wanted me to take. And I happened to think that at that particular time, Bob was just getting into the drugless part of it. So I said, well, Doc, I said, let's hold off. I said, I want to talk to my son-in-law first. And he said, well, who's your son-in-law? And I told him Dr. Bob DeMaria, the chiropractor, and he kind of looked at me with a little funny look in his eyes. But I made up my mind I want to talk to him. So when I come talk to Bob, he says, Steve, he says, you can do, I'm not forcing you or I'm not telling you what to do. He said, but he knows you got to change your life. And he puts you on drugs, it's not going to help you. Because that's just a crutch of what's the matter with you. So what I did, I came over and I talked to him. I changed my diet. I quit drinking, and I was started to eat healthy food. This went on for, well, that's been going now for about, I would say 18 years, something like that. And I feel better today by eating healthy, watching what the labels are, and sometimes it's pretty hard during especially Christmas, Thanksgiving. You do cheat a little bit, and I do. But I might cheat a little bit, but right the next 2 days I'm back on it. And it's funny. I could go all the time without, and we haven't had sugar in our house for almost 20 years. But you know, the funny part of it is, if I go on those days that I cheat and I maybe overdo it, I can tell right away what sugar's doing with me.
Yeah.
I feel pain. I feel, in my body I can feel, I said, boy, there's something wrong with me. And I said, well, it was those cakes and pies and everything else that you did. So all I can tell you is by coming here, I started taking massages. I do it once a month. That was, and I bartend at the Polish Club a couple days a week, and it's everybody says, "Oh, it's hard for you to do it. You're around whiskey and everything." And I said, "No," I said, "all you got to do is make up your mind. You have to make up your own mind. Nobody can tell you, but you got to do it." You say, "Am I going to do this? Am I going to do it, or ain't I?" And that's the problem. You have to do it yourself. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, and most of you here know, the ones that do it yourself, God bless, we all feel better. We all feel better. And so, I had a couple more things. Oh, not only, and I had 4 or 5 colonics. That's where you have your colon flushed out. And I got one scheduled for next month. So that'll be I think, probably my 5th or 6th one. And massages I'm taking. And during this whole course of being on natural vitamins and watching what I eat and everything, the best part that I can describe it, I have not had a headache in 14 years. It's almost impossible to believe. But and I keep track of it, and I just thank them and everything, because I feel better today when I'm going to be 81 September the 9th than I ever did at 50 years old. So I thank them for actually saving my life.
Yes.
And he did it for my wife too, because my wife had a stroke, and now she's been coming in, and they're working with her and everything. And very fortunate that the one day that we went down there, she was complaining about her legs. She said she had arthritis real bad and everything, and her legs were bad. I told Debbie, you come with us, or Debbie said to me when she found out, she said, I'm going with you to the doctor, and I'm going to tell him. And it was a surprise right there, because she just walked up to the doctor and said, Doctor, she's off of Lipitor. And I mean it, off of Lipitor. And we didn't know what was going to transpire. But anyway, it took almost 5 or 6 months to get that Lipitor out of her system. But she hasn't complained once about, and this is what a drug can do to you. So before you take any drug or anything, there's a natural way to make it work. And I'm a testimony to that. It does work. So thank you very much.